What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. So I get a lot of comments about turf shoes. People asking me to review them because a lot of people around the world play on really shallow turf fields and they're looking, instead of an AG model, they're looking for an MG or even a turf. Turf obviously having a little bit more padding underneath your foot to help with things like injuries and a little bit more bounciness as you're playing on those harder surfaces. So I thought I would bring to you guys a review that I'm very excited for because I've actually been wearing a second pair, which I have down here. These are the Mizuno Morelia SALA turf, and I'm so pumped to try these on. So without further ado, let's get into the unboxing. So these are a typical made in Japan unboxing experience. So you get everything you would in a made in Japan product, because this particular boot, the Morelia SALA Japan, is actually made in Japan. This is a Japan specific boot. These I got from a company called Tokyo Football. They are based out of Singapore and they ship worldwide. So if you guys are interested, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I use them for all of the really interesting and rare football boots that you find in Japan or in Asia that you can't get in Australia or the United States. So opening them up, unfortunately they don't have a string bag, but for a turf model that costs a fraction of what the Morelia 2 actually costs, it's pretty good. But let's get these unboxed. Oh my days. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, look at those. Those are absolutely stunning. So these are, everything about this is a Morelia in the forefoot. These have a synthetic leather in the midfoot for a little bit more lockdown. I'll talk about that in a little bit when we talk about sort of the sole plate and stuff. But everything else, you get the super premium K leather in the forefoot, of course, and these are just a stunning pair of football boots. So let's get these out of the box and we'll show you guys this. So you still get that made in Japan tag like you do on all of the top end boots. We'll get this out of the way and we'll throw these down. So here you go. So the Morelia SALA made in Japan. You've got the Mizuno professional model right here, Japan Spirit on the tongue, which is super, super cool. These are, of course, a edition of the Morelia. Now, these have a similar stitching pattern in the forefoot to that M8 model that you guys have probably seen the review of. If you haven't, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen for that as well. These, of course, being the turf model. Even though they are the turf model, they still are made in Japan, which is super, super cool. Now, if I go over here really quick, I've actually got the pair that I have been using. These are the Wave Cup Morelia Salas, I think. I can't remember what they're called, but I got these from Tokyo Football as well. These are absolutely iconic. These, of course, having that premium K leather upper. Very, very similar boots. They're basically the same, although I believe the Wave Cup ones have K leather all the way back to here, whereas the K leather stops and it's just in that forefoot area for the Salas. But these have been absolutely sensational. I've been wearing these on the little indoor court that we have in Ultra Football, and we do little like 5v5 games in there. So I've been wearing these, and these have been absolutely sensational. So same boot, just a different color, and obviously these have that tongue that Rivaldo made super, super famous, but very, very similar design language and all that stuff. So from a tech feature standpoint, these are actually pretty simple. You do have the synthetic leather in the midfoot with the Running Bird logo on either side for a little bit of extra lockdown. You've got the same lacing system area and tongue as the standard Morelia 2 in FG, and you've got the K leather in the forefoot, super premium, super, super soft. And then you've got this suede stitching pattern that runs in that forefoot area for a little bit of extra durability as you are playing on really shallow turf pitches. One of the things that I really love about the turf sole plate made from the rubber, foam, and synthetic is that this the stud pattern, excuse me, is more of like a bladed or angled studs or chevron studs compared to a lot of other turf models, which are just little circles all across the upper. Now, the reason I like this is because, number one, it feels a lot more balanced underfoot and it feels super, super nice to play with. The second reason is because I think these are actually, they feel more responsive than the circular stud turf models. So it is a pretty sticky rubber, so you are going to get really nice traction on any sort of AG pitch that you play on, whether it's a newer AG pitch or an older AG pitch. I think you're going to be just fine in these. So these are really designed to wear on any synthetic you want. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more padded and you aren't interested in wearing an FG model or even an AG model, I think the turf model really is the way to go, because I've been enjoying the crap out of them, especially when you're doing little like sole rollovers and stuff. The rubber elements on the bottom are sticky enough that it actually makes quite a big difference as far as your control when you're putting your foot on the top of the ball. And I'll demonstrate that a little bit in the on-feet portion of the video. But I just thought this colorway looked sick, and I really want to have 2 or 3 different pairs of turf shoes as we continue to do a little bit more 5v5 stuff indoors, and I train at Oxidate, and we do some, you know, cool stuff down here in Melbourne, and of course have these for some of the big future plans that I have for my brand Brace, which you can see here. So this is just a really cool pair of football boots. I would highly recommend you guys use Tokyo Football, simply because they ship really quickly, and they've got they often will restock a bunch of their stuff. All of it's legit. As you can see, it's got their little tag on it as well. These are so comfortable, so premium, and you get everything in a classic Morelia 2 with a little bit of a different stitching pattern, with the ability to play on pretty much any surface, which is awesome. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video. I'll tell you guys how these fit and feel compared to the M8 model of the FG variation, so something that's quite similar. These are obviously going to probably fit a little bit more snug because of that synthetic leather midfoot, but overall they should fit almost identical to any other Morelia that I've ever worn, which is a huge deal because I absolutely love wearing leather boots like this when they come to turf, because I just think it adds that little bit of extra pizzazz that you're looking for when you're playing those small-sided games. So without further ado, let's hop into it. All right, fam, out here in the backyard with the absolutely stunning and beautiful Mizuno Morelia SALA Japan. Now, some really cool details about these boots. Obviously, as I mentioned before, this particular turf stud pattern is excellent for this type of turf. I've worn not this particular pair, but as I said in the unboxing video, and I showed you guys those blue sort of, how would you say? They're the Sala, but with the tongue and more of the wave cup design, I guess you could say. But I am such a huge fan of just the regular U-throat tongue without the fold-over tongue. I like both, don't get me wrong. And the fact that these are just the premium made in Japan leather is so nice. Have been an absolute joy to wear. So let's get these on feet. I've got my WeFoot grip socks as well, so you guys can go check those out, and we'll get these on feet. Oh my days. See, I don't know what Mizuno's pulled off some wizardry with these, because these are like most indoor. So the flat bottom indoor IC, which stands for indoor court, which is the flat bottom ones, and then these, which are the TF or the turf model. Most indoor court or turf model of shoes are just not the same quality. Like, they're just not as good. These feel so comfortable out of the box. They have absolutely nailed the shape. Like, yes, the midfoot is synthetic, so keep in mind it's not going to be, you know, you're not going to get the same moldability that you get with this K-leather forefoot in the midfoot as well. But these are just so comfortable out of the box. They're super lightweight as well. And the midfoot feels like it's locking my foot in, while the forefoot area just gives me a nice amount of cushion and adaptability, so that any sort of, you know, bending and flexing of my toes, I can do that with this forefoot, which is awesome. So that I am a huge fan of as well. But yeah, these are super comfortable. Love the colorway as well. I think the sort of pearlescent white leather and the sort of pearlescent finish as well on the midfoot feels, or looks amazing. And then obviously this kind of sort of reddish, peachish, reddish orange, like fire red orange color looks absolutely fantastic. So there you go on feet. They feel super lightweight. For a turf model, they feel a lot more connected to the ground. Mizuno's done such a nice job of keeping that padding in the heel area pretty nice, so you do have quite a bit of support as you're, you know, pivoting and moving or striking when you're running on an indoor pitch or a turf pitch, so you get a little bit more cushion there as opposed to a normal football boot. But they've kept this midfoot here, super thin. And so all you're getting, like I almost feel like I'm in a barefoot pair of shoes or something right now because of how connected I feel to the ground, which is a really, really nice feeling, especially when you have, you know, the whole bit of a turf game is foot on top of the ball, right? Like you're doing all these sort of little tricks and flicks and stuff. And that's the type of touch that I have with the ground and touch with the ball. So I can feel the ball in every little nook and cranny of the ball as well, which is fantastic for a pair of turf shoes. So in my opinion, super, super nice. Heel area feels great. It's identical, or at least it feels pretty identical to the outdoor Morelia 2. It's slightly different just in the way that it's a little bit more plush here because of the synthetic material. Oops, excuse me. A little bit more plush here because of the synthetic material, but it does feel very similar. It's the same liner that you get on the outdoor Morelia 2 in FG or AG, I guess, if that's what you like. And overall, you know, most of the materials and the construction of these are exactly the same as the Morelia 2, which is awesome. So there's a full look at the kit. Obviously, custom Noah Cavanaugh kit, which is sick with my other company as the sponsor. Amazing. Dream come true, truly. And then the boots, which I think look great. Obviously, an all-white boot with an accent color is one of my favorite types of colorways. I think you can't really go wrong. You think of like the Euro 2016 colorway from Nike, you think about the Clash Pack, you think about, you know, any of those colors that are just like all white with a little bit of accent colorway. Super, super sick. So touch on the ball feels absolutely premium and plush. It feels pretty similar, I would say, to Morelia 2, which is very impressive given these are a slightly different construction. Obviously, the part that I'm currently touching with my foot and the ball is the leather forefoot and the tongue area, and the tongue is the same as the Morelia 2. Same construction, same materials, all that stuff. So really the touch points of juggling are gonna feel pretty much identical to the Morelia 2. The reason they went with a synthetic, my guess, other than to keep the cost a little bit down, is probably because in a indoor arena soccer, arena football, or a court, because this is the same construction as the court shoe, having a synthetic midfoot gives you a little bit more lockdown. So, right, so as I'm, you know, running towards the camera and I'm chasing a ball and I'm gonna turn with the ball and I touch it and I plant and my body momentum is trying to move me this way towards the camera, I'm gonna get a really, I'm gonna get a little bit of extra lockdown, one with this Running Bird logo that's completely synthetic and it's not gonna stretch. And then I have this moldable synthetic leather material that gives me a little bit more rigidity and structure than this K-leather forefoot. So you're gonna get a little bit of extra responsiveness out of it, which is super, super nice. Not unlike the Morelia Neo 4 non-beta version. It's it feels very similar to those in a lot of ways. Obviously a little bit different as far as like overall construction and shape, but very similar as far as in fact, I'm pretty sure it's the same BF synthetic. So don't quote me on that one, but I'm fairly certain it's that same material that they use on the midfoot. So if that gives you any idea of what these are gonna feel like, they are stupid comfortable. For the blue edition that I have with the tongue, I wore those ones straight into an indoor game and they were absolutely sensational. Like genuine, zero break in time, felt perfect, was like doing rollovers and step overs and all sorts of stuff, like juking people. It was awesome. So yeah, very much a fan of these boots. I will not be wearing, I might review some more turf shoes, don't get me wrong, but I will not be wearing any other turf shoes because these are the king. These are the cream of the crop. They're the best of the best, in my opinion. They just make playing in an indoor, you know, arena with your friends so much more enjoyable. To coach in these boots would be a joy as well too, because you feel so connected and you're, you know, moving around and you feel grounded and all that stuff as well. So for me, it's really top notch. From a turf shoe perspective, as you guys may or may not know, I actually played quite a bit of indoor soccer growing up, played at a pretty decent level as well. Really enjoyed playing in the arena. Basically, for those who don't know, it's essentially a converted hockey rink that they've put AstroTurf on it, either AstroTurf or like 2G or 3G turf with the pellets. So super fun, very dynamic, very fast-paced game, and you wear turf shoes like this. So I am a huge fan. I've been able to wear several different ones, so these are by far the most comfortable that I've ever worn. So very much keeping these in the collection. Gonna play with them on a pretty regular basis down at Ultra Football, which has an indoor court, which is sick. So one quick shout out as well. I know I talked about the grip socks, but you guys do have to go check out Tokyo Football, because Tokyo Football had these in stock. I think they did a whole size run again, so they'll get these in stock. Tokyo Football ships worldwide. That's where I got these, and they've sent me a couple other boots, the Asics DS Lite X Fly Pro 2s. They sent me, and those are a wonderful pair of football boots. Absolutely love playing in those ones. So if you guys are interested in kind of a little more niche and rare made in Japan football boots, and some football boots that usually aren't available in the US or Europe or Asia, or excuse me, or Australia, definitely go check out Tokyo Football. It's at tokyofootball.sg. So I'll put that link in the description box below as well. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys do want more turf reviews, let me know down in the comment section below which ones you guys want me to review next. Obviously this is a first for me. So if this video does really well, then maybe I'll get into some more turf reviews as well, alongside some of the other, obviously the regular boot content. So yeah, hit that like button if you got value from the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see y'all in the next video.